right. What is up, everybody? Jay Nelly here with my UFC Fight Night, I believe it's 89 recap video. UFC Ottawa, Ontario happened last night. I hope you saw it because it was a great event. I haven't seen the prelims yet, but the main card was excellent. I got 3 out of 5 picks, so decent night for me. First up, a pick I did not get. I chose Valerie Letourneau to beat Joanne Calderwood. She did not. However, I said these ladies would set the card off right, and boy, did they. For these ladies were, you heard every hit. This was the first fight at 125. They definitely need to go ahead and foster this division because you have a lot of ladies who are too big for 120 or 115 and too small for 135. I think the 125 is going to have a great mesh of the skill level of the straw weight and the power of the bantamweight. So I'm very looking forward to this weight division being added to the UFC, especially after this fight, because you heard every hit. These ladies scrapped. It was just leather, slap, scrap, scrap. Punches to the face, mostly head hunting. There was a lot of body shots. Muay Thai. There was slick elbows on the inside. I think Valerie won the first round. She started faster. She started first. She jumped on Joanne and had Joanne kind of whirling a little bit. Joanne had to find her center there. Joanne landed a spinning back elbow flush to the face. I know that Valerie is durable, but sheesh, even I was surprised she survived this. And not only did she survive it, not only was she fell on the ground, Joanne got on top with some ground and pound. Not only did she tie her up, she was going for submissions on the ground as well because she's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Then she managed to get back to her feet and get some of that back. She started tagging Joanne again. So you can give her that round because Joanne that round because she had the most devastating shot. However, I actually give that round to Valerie even with that shot because, sheesh. Now, throughout this entire fight, Valerie seemed to be, I thought she had a wardrobe malfunction at first. She seemed to be tugging and grabbing at her clothes and adjusting. I wasn't sure what was going on there. Then in the second round, Joanne landed a heck of a shot to the chest where she kind of verbally was like, ugh, and she grabbed the chest, and Joanne was like, is there something wrong? There was a lot of communication going on. The ref got involved. She said she was okay to keep fighting, and they kept going. And then I was like, what just happened there? Did she just get injured? Now, the second round went to Joanne. She found a raid and she was tagging Valerie. They both actually got knotted up a bit, but Joanne definitely got the second round. Third round, more of the same. She actually managed to hit her again in this chest. This time, Valerie actually turned her back to Joanne due to chest shots more than once. And I'm kind of thinking maybe the ref probably should have stopped it the first time she turned her back. But the second time here in the third round, where she grabs her chest, turns around and walks away from Joanne, do you know what that is? That is an I quit. When the fighter turns their back to the other fighter and walks away, clear across the octagon, the fight is over and it's up to the ref to stop it. Now, Joanne is looking at the ref. She's looking around like, what's going on? She has to keep going until she's told to stop. So that's what she does. She follows behind Valerie. She kind of gives her a knee to the back of the leg and then she clocks her a few times from the side and side of the face. Then she lands a spinning fist that damn near knocks Valerie out and onto the ground. All of that unnecessary. All of it. This is the type of thing that, pisses me off. I'd much rather an early stoppage than something like this. She turned her back and walked away. The fight was over then. This ref needs to be suspended. He needs to be looked at, possibly fired. You're there to protect the fighters, and it's literal. They'll keep going. It's literal. Do your job. She said I quit when she walked away. Now, who would you like to see next for both these ladies? How do you feel about there being a 125 division? I'm extremely excited for it. Extremely happy for Joanne Calderwood. She looked great. She's now a TriStar. Good for her. Who would you like to see her fight next? Next up, I got this pick. I chose Olivier Aubin-Mercier to beat Thibault Goudy. He lost the first round now. He did win. I think Thibault kind of caught him off guard because he came to play. He came with some shots. He jumped quick. He was first. I think he won the first round. He actually had Olivier reeling a little bit to where he had to revert back to his wrestling and stop from getting hit. So first round to me goes to Thibault. After that, Olivier found his range. He was able to get the takedown, ground and pound all through the second round. Third round, more of the same until he got the rear naked choke, tap, tap. Good win for him. But who would you like to see both men fight next? Next up, I got this pick as well. I chose Steve Bosse to beat Sean O'Connell. I knew both of them were some heavy hitters and it could go either way. I didn't expect it to go past the first and went all 3 rounds, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I am so surprised both men were standing. I thought Sean's chin might be suspect, but honey, I was wrong because it wasn't like a slobber knocker, full brawl, no technique. No, it was all technical. It's just every shot was so hard. The first round goes to Sean O'Connell. There was a series of jabs where I think he actually knocked Steve out and then knocked him back into consciousness, knocked him on the ground and everything. He outlanded him there, ground and pound the whole nine. Steve came back, or Bosse came back in the second round just as much, some serious ground and pound, raining down bombs. O'Connell was moving and trying to tuck his head and trying to grab arms, he was trying to survive, and that's when he opened up Sean O'Connell's face. It got back to their feet, and Sean was still swinging. Still, Steve, okay, Bosse's in the competition for best chin in the UFC. He's in it officially because the shots that O'Connell was hitting him with, and he was just taking them, not even getting dizzy from it, throughout the entire 3 rounds, to the point where Herb Dean, we're at the last 10 seconds of this fight, and they both just was like, we're throwing them bones. And Herb actually stopped the fight a couple seconds early. He got in between them early before the actual sound of the bell, and I think Herb was just like, you know what, that's enough. That's enough, fellas. Y'all did great. No one needs to be knocked out here. He stopped him early. Steve won the fight. I believe it was a unanimous decision, but this was so fight of the night. Man, amazing. Go back and watch it again. So who would you like to see both men fight next? This is actually, Sean's had like 3 losses in a row, I think, but he ain't going anywhere after a performance like this. So who would you like to see both Bosse and O'Connell fight next? Next up, co-main event, and I got this pick as well. I chose Donald Cerrone to beat Patrick Cote, and he beat him easier than I actually thought he would. This was such a pro performance from Donald Cerrone. He won every round, and it was actually it was a level change, and he took Patrick down quite early, quite easily too. There was a moment where Patrick was on top of him, but he was able to reverse the position. Even he said he thought that Patrick would be stronger than he was. Not that Patrick looked bad. I just think that Cerrone just looked really, really good. He did all the mechanics right. He found his range. He was picking him apart on the feet. Then he took him down and was picking him apart there. He ended the first round with his back, hitting him on his back, trying to get the rear naked choke. So he just beat him everywhere. He beat him on the ground. He beat him on the feet. He beat him in close quarters. And then eventually he KO'd him. Eventually he TKO'd him. And the TKO just came to him because of all that work, having the better position, having the better shot selection, baiting him into bad movement, and just having great combinations. And eventually, when you do everything right like that, when you just win everywhere, the knockout kind of comes to you. It happens in boxing a lot. It comes to you. And that's what we saw in the 3rd round. Eventually, he was winning everywhere so often, stuff started really getting through. He started really clocking him with some hard hits that was dazing and had Cote reeling a little bit. And then again, like I said, the KO just kind of came to him, got on top, ground and pound, done. Great win for Cerrone. And he said, welterweight, 155, either or. So what would you like to see Donald Cerrone do next? Stay at 155, fight at 170, and who in both divisions? This is, again, a real pro performance from Donald Cerrone. Look great. Next up, main event. And I lost this pick, although I said I didn't know how this would go. So Wonderboy beat Rory MacDonald. However, Stephen Thompson beat Rory MacDonald. 5-round decision. He basically won every round. Rory just really couldn't hit him. That movement, but although it was a lower production than I thought it would be, even from Stephen, and that's because Rory's so elusive. So even Stephen said, you know what? I had a hard time trying to hit him too. So he wasn't as aggressive as he usually is. It took him a while to actually get there. And I actually think if he would have started earlier, would have realized that he actually had Rory reeling and not the other way around. Rory couldn't hit him. He was trying to go for these spinning leg, like Ryan Hall leg grabs and things of that nature, just to try to get him down, to try to get his hands on him, because he would go to hit him and he wasn't there. He was hesitant, shelled up, kind of like the old Rory MacDonald. So I think that if Stephen would have realized that earlier, that he had the upper hand and kind of just would have got more aggressive earlier, I think he could have finished Rory MacDonald. I do. But he won the fight. Good performance from him. Of course, Rory MacDonald's extremely hard to put away. He broke Rory MacDonald's nose in the 5th round when it actually started to come to him. So like I said, if he would have started earlier, I think he could have finished Rory possibly like in the 4th round. So it's just bittersweet because Rory, I think, has been irreversibly damaged from Robbie Lawler. He said he broke his nose several times in training, broke his nose here. He doesn't know if surgery can help. He doesn't know what to do. He's like 26 years old, and I would hate for this to be not the end of his career, but to just severely change the trajectory to where we all think he's going to be a future champ pretty soon. maybe not. And that saddens me. I hope you can find how to rehab your nose. I think it definitely got in his head as he was fighting, he was so heady. Like I said, kind of like the old Rory MacDonald. So I just hope that he can find a way to fix his nose and that it can get strong again and to where it doesn't weigh on him so it doesn't affect his fighting style. I hope it doesn't affect his career too bad. Take all the time you need, Rory MacDonald, and I hope you get better. As for Wonderboy, he's probably going to get that title shot next. Good job, Wonderboy. Let me know how you did on your picks, injury updates, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I will have 15-second recaps and prediction videos. I'm just sweating profusely. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.